All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us and jumping on. I'm excited to talk to you guys today about some well, first off, I have two of my bestest friends here, and I know them from pawTree, and it has truly changed our lives. So that's some of the things that we're going to be talking to you guys about today, but I want to introduce them. So over here, we have Taylor Gannon. And down here, we have Krista Kane, and we are all dog moms. So we are here to talk to you guys today on how we've been able to fulfill our passions for barking dogs and helping pets, but also how we've been able to incorporate it into our busy dog mom lives. So we all have different stories. We all have different ways that we have found out about pawTree. We're actually going to be talking about that a little bit later. We all have different stories, but the common theme that we all have is that we are big dog moms. So I would like to ask both of you guys, we can just kind of go around round table of what's your name, where are you from, and how long have you been in pawTree?
Okay,
well, I'll go first actually because I didn't say that. So I'm Joey Lee. I am from Michigan, and I've been in pawTree for over 5 years now.
I'm Taylor. I'm from Eagle Lake, Texas, and I've been in pawTree for almost 5 years.
And I'm Krista Kane. I'm up in Washington State, and I've been with pawTree for 6.5 years.
All right, cool. We've got some people popping in too. All right, so how did you guys hear about pawTree? I know for me, I actually heard about it on social media. I was kind of perusing Facebook, and it came across my screen, and I was like, ooh, what is this? So how did you guys hear about pawTree?
So I was in the middle of a job change, and I was kind of looking around on Google, and so I got out of the livestock industry, and I was looking for something with pets, and just kind of searching dogs and pet incomes, right? So I found pawTree through Google.
That's awesome. I actually started opposite. I was a customer first. So as a new puppy owner, I was struggling to find a good food for my German Shepherd puppy. And I was introduced, my sister had met a pawTree Pet Pro through a networking group, and I was introduced to a Pet Pro, got my dog on food and supplements, saw such a huge change and had such a great personal testimonial for the products that I jumped in at being a Pet Pro 3 months later and thought, I'm already sharing it with people. Why not make money doing it as well? So my initial goal was just to get my dog's food paid for. So that went pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I feel like that's what a lot of us kind of wanted to jump in for. Is just like, can I just get a discount on like all the amount of stuff that I'm spending on all of my pets? Like at the time that I jumped into pawTree, we had 2 dogs and 3 cats. And so, yeah, the bill was pretty high. So
well, I now have 2 German Shepherds. So those are big boys, and they, their vet visits, their food, their supplements, everything's expensive with them. So I think pawTree is really one of the best ways that I've found to fund my dog mom lifestyle.
I know, Taylor, you always want the best for Tubby too.
Oh yeah, he's my baby. I ended up, I buy for him before me every day of the week. So when I joined pawTree, it was fun to start buying everything through myself. So it makes me feel a little bit better when I'm buying it through myself, right?
Yeah. All right. So what has pawTree done for you since you've enrolled as a Pet Pro?
You want me to start?
Sure.
I'm going to start. Okay. So, there's obvious, like the income, like we were just talking about, being able to fund all the things that we do for our dogs, vet visits, food, things like that. But what I love is that it lets me stay home. So I'm not going to a 9 to 5. I do have a husband and some teenage sons, and it just allows me to be available for them. Whether it's, going to a cross country meet or traveling with my husband to some cool place that he's going to, I have the flexibility to do that. But the biggest thing that I have found is, and I'm actually getting a new one today, is I've been able to foster 3 shepherds, 3 different dogs. I'm getting my 4th one today, a little 14-week-old puppy. And my husband would be on board with the idea, but the fact that I can pay for all their stuff, that I can be home, if I worked a 9 to 5, I couldn't foster a 14-week-old puppy. There's just no way. So flexibility and funding of my fostering has been a really cool, privilege that I get from pawTree.
Awesome. What about you, Tay?
So Krista really nailed it on that one. I think you'll hear similarities between us, but for me, I have a border collie. He's 5. I'm a stay-at-home dog mom now to him, and he's like my world. So he's my fur baby. I don't have kids or anything. I'm 28, and I am a typical, like, not even typical, just crazy millennial dog mom. And so I love getting to spend like every moment I have with him, and I want him to live forever. And so between the nutrition and the time I get to spend with him, the flexibility, the income, it kind of all goes hand in hand. But on the flip side of it, when I'm not with him, my awesome mom, his Mimi, takes care of him when I'm gone. And so pawTree's really given me a lot of like wanderlust. And so I didn't really travel or have the means to travel before pawTree. I got out of college and then joined pawTree. So I was in school before that. And so now I'm in my 20s and I want to travel before I'm 30. And so, like, currently, right now, I'm puppy sitting or farm sitting in Alabama. And so my mom has him. And so it's given us the flexibility for sure. But there's so many things. So, what do you got, Joey?
A lot of what you guys had. For me too, it was really an escape in a way to be able to get out of my 9 to 5 rut and to be able to have that life that I had really always dreamed of, where I was working the 9 to 5 and I just really hated where I was at in life. And so it's really kind of brought me into who I was really meant to be, because when I was depressed and just at my 9 to 5 and not loving life, now I'm able to actually be able to go traveling, and we were able to raise a leader dog and financially be able to provide that and the good nutrition that comes along with that. So been able to take this childhood dream of being able to raise a leader dog, which is a guide dog in training for anybody that doesn't know, and be able to fully pay for a yellow lab. And if you guys know, like, they can eat a lot. and it was fine. Like, it didn't hurt us financially. And so really just being able to give back and be able to have the freedom and be a happier dog mom and wife for my husband is really been a blessing, because I know that I was not the nicest person to be around all the time when I worked my 9 to 5 and was just grumpy all the time. And so I'm definitely much happier. All right. So how have you implemented it naturally into our dog mom lifestyle?
You want to start us off, Joey?
All right. Yes. So for us, we really, Alex and I really love to be active. So things like going to the dog park and walking our dogs and just being able to go out to maybe different dog events with our dogs. And so that's a really great way that we've been able to talk with people. And because we love to be so social, things like when we were in Leader Dogs, I was able to talk with other puppy raisers and just be able to talk to, I mean, honestly, Alex and I do our best work at bars and airports. So between traveling and going out to dinner, we can strike up a conversation with people anywhere. Plus, I love being a social media dog mom. So we do a ton of things on there to really just be able to show off my pets. So my cats love to be on camera. T2 usually is always walking around right here on the Zooms and things like that. But really just being able to, I don't know, just be the biggest dog mom and be able to spoil them with enrichment toys and things like that, which, Tay, I know you'll be able to talk more about that. But just being able to educate people too, because those are the things that I'm learning about. So that's the way that I'm just like, okay, this is all the stuff that I love, and I get to tell other people about it, and it's just the best way.
That's awesome. And like Joey really nailed it too. And like just us 3 sitting here is definitely a great example too. Like, we're crazy dog moms. And so like our community is getting around like other like-minded pet parents, maybe you're a crazy cat lady or something like that too. And it's just made me a better dog mom. So every year, you know, I pawTree when Tubby was 1, and I just constantly research and get better and better and better. I'm always looking for the best, newest things to do with him. Like Joey mentioned, enrichment toys. And of course, every new supplement we come out with, like Tubby's my guinea pig. with pawTree, and he's such a prime example of like what good nutrition and health can do. I get complimented on him like all the time of how beautiful he is and like the picture of health, and that's like the best compliment because I know I'm doing everything I can to have him with me as long as I can. So yeah, I love incorporating him in the business. He definitely helps make some of the income. It's all Tubby, it's not me. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then just like I said, you can't beat these friendships we have. Like Krista and Joey are two of my best friends, and just being around other like-minded dog moms goes a long way. So I'm thankful for that.
I think we're really lucky in that it's so easy to implement pawTree into our dog mom lifestyle. I don't know which came first, frankly, but like for me, having shepherds, I do train. I've trained them both actually in dog sport, and it's just like a really natural way to bring pawTree and my dogs together with the sport people. But not only did it give me the money to afford to do the sport, but it also introduced me to great lots of people, lots of prospects. So I'm constantly, people are having been with pawTree for over 6 years. People are constantly asking me, nutrition questions and how can I help? And it's just, I don't even have to look for them anymore. They're starting to come to me. But whenever I go to a groomer, same thing, like what Taylor was saying, they're like, your dogs look so great. People ask me all the time if I want to breed my dogs with theirs, which I don't. It's still a big compliment. But I mean, yeah, my life really does revolve around my dogs. My family knows like, oh, they have to come with us to family events. They're great conversation pieces, whether you meet people at the park or the breweries, like it's really fun to take them out. And then, everybody wants to talk dog, and it's a really fun job to be able to talk to people about their pets, and they ask about ours, and it's just an easy conversation to have. And so it's just naturally pawTree just fits into our everyday lives without any force or anything awkward, for sure.
Exactly. And I mean, we even have we've had people that came and washed our windows, and they're now feeding, like they're on the pawTree dog food. So when I had joined, I was actually like shortly after that, we decided to sell my house and build a house. So busy was definitely a thing that was going on in my life. So for all of you that are like, oh, but I'm so busy, that's totally fine, because you actually get to, if you're busy, you're going to be meeting people all over the place. So we had contractors at our house all the time. And guess what? I talked to every single one of those contractors if they had a dog, if they had a cat. And so it's, even though you are busy, I love how easy it is to incorporate it into our lives. Because even when I had my 9 to 5, I was always looking for that opportunity. If I saw somebody in the even in the grocery store line that they were getting new bowls for their dog, and I'd be like, oh, are you getting a new puppy? So boom, right there. If somebody's getting dog bowls, maybe it's a new dog, maybe they're just refreshing. So you can always look for ways to incorporate it in. And just like you just said, it's never forced. It's not awkward. Like being a dog mom, that's just what we do. Like if I see a dog out, like Alex has so many videos of me just like going up to random people and being like, oh, can I pet your dog? What's their name? And just talking to them. And so it's just an easy way that, I mean, it's so natural for us as dog moms.
You know what else is really cool about the pawTree world is that, like, I know Joey and Taylor are both big on social media. I'm not so much, but you know what? My dogs are. Like, everybody knows my dogs. So I'm not going to say I hide behind them, but they're a great tool to, promote our products. Everybody loves getting dog pictures, and it's an easy, flooding people's feed with dogs and puppy stuff. Like, it starts the conversations, getting this foster puppy today. He's going to start a bunch of conversations with people that either want to foster or want to know how I'm going to, help them get back to health, whatever. The dogs do all the work, frankly. We just do the follow-up.
Yeah. And that too, Krista, who doesn't want to monetize their pet? Like, duh, I want to have. So yeah. I love that.
Be famous. Have some famous dogs. All right. So next question I have for you guys. Do you have a favorite testimonial of how the products have helped a client of yours?
You want me to go? I can go first. Mine, okay, it's another German Shepherd. I can't help it. I find all the German Shepherd people, but it was a woman I'd known for a couple years, and she had a German Shepherd. And come to find out, I didn't even know this. She had chronic ear infections, and the dog was going to the vet every 6 to 8 weeks, getting whether it was, steroids, antibiotics. She was spending a ton of money. The dog was miserable, and she actually reached out to me because she saw that she knew what I did. It just hadn't come up, and so she reached out to me, and I said, "Hey, let's switch her food. Let's just try that." And we switched her to like a grain-free, poultry-free food. And she never got an ear infection again. And that was probably like 4 years ago.
Wow.
And, even just the money side of her savings, like she saved, I think she told me it was over $700 a year that she was saving on not going to the vet for these ear infections. But the dog was like so much happier because she wasn't miserable with these ear infections. And then her coat, worst German Shepherd coat I had ever seen in my whole life, got her on some salmon oil and it got a lot better. It was still pretty bad. But, that dog was a different dog, like inside and out. And the cool part of that testimonial is this woman's daughter actually decided to become a pet pro because of how well their dog had done on our food. So pretty cool testimonial.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. And we have so many. The first one that comes to mind for me was a client. She became a pet pro, and she had a dog that was super finicky, of course, picky eater. We all know a picky pet, right? And she was putting whatever she could do on the food to get him to eat, like whether it was like wet food, cheese, bacon, stuff that might not be as good, right? Just to get the dog to eat. And I know we've all known somebody that's been there. And of course, we have the OG pet food seasoning. So I was like, let's get her on the seasoning, and it worked. And so when you love to give something that's good for them versus just like whatever you could do to get them to eat. And so financially, she saved money because she was putting all these other foods and all these other kind of things. And so our pet food seasonings, did the trick. And on the flip side of that, she didn't use this product, but at the vet clinic, there's a prescription called Entice. And so a lot of pets are on Entice too, just to get them to eat. So that's one less prescription you could have your pet on just to get them to eat. I can't imagine. So our pet food seasonings are a big game changer for picky pets. So that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I can't believe they have a prescription for picky eating.
Yeah, it's called Entice. The only reason I know that is because when Tucker was at the end of his life, he was 14, and they tried to prescribe that, and it's ENTYCE. So, okay. But yeah, I was like, I've got something for that.
Yeah. I know. I have quite a few. There's a couple that I always love. And, because it's allergy season, I'll go with that one. We had a lady that she had reached out to me. She was from social media, and she had just reached out to me, and she was at her wit's end. She just felt so bad for her dog, and she had gone to 3 different vets trying to figure out like what was going on with her dog. There was hot spots, and there was itching and scratching and red inflamed skin, just all the clear signs that there was some major things going on. And we had put her on our allergy support and our salmon oil. And it was just within a couple of days, the dog had already just started being a different pet. And she had called me. I was actually on the way back from one of our conferences, and I landed and I got this voicemail from this lady, and she was so incredibly happy and so thankful because, like I said, she had gone from vet to vet to vet, and they couldn't give her any answers. And so I was able to help her completely change her dog's life with just some of our easy supplements. And I know from personal experience how much the allergy supplements can really completely change dogs' lives, and to see that duplicate down to other people's pets, like that's just one of my favorite stories. Is like this dog is completely different and just has a better outlook on life and just a happier pet because they're not completely miserable, because our pets can't say anything to us, and we just kind of have to do what's best for them. And being a dog mom, like if you ever see your pet miserable or unhappy, you're just like, it's breaking my heart.
That's what I love about pawTree and like getting to be a pet pro is, so we all have testimonials of where we help the dog tremendously, but what that does is having their dogs happy and healthy makes the pet parent happy. So they're excited, and then the pet pro is excited because we got to help not only the dog, but the pet parent. And it's just I don't know, it's just spreading happiness all over to where everybody's comfortable, everybody's happy, and everybody can go and play with their dog and enjoy their dog the way they're supposed to be.
Yes, exactly. All right. So next question. How has pawTree helped you financially?
I'll start because it's kind of changed over the years, and I think you'll hear that with us too. So when I first started pawTree, I was working another full-time job. And so I have a dog with hip dysplasia, and I was doing therapy for him at Underwater Treadmill A&M and at Gulf Coast. And I also did daycare because I was working 7 to 5. And so I was like, I don't want him sitting at the house all day, and I want updates, and I want him to have playtime. So I had therapy going on, daycare, all the crazy dog mom things. And so it started to just help, like, kind of supplement my spending habits on Tubby. And then it later, once I became full time and now I do this, it's just become, awesome to be like right now. I'm in Alabama and I can make an income from my phone when I'm not at home. So that's really neat to us. We were all just in Seattle and Alaska together. And so it's fun to actually get paid together when we're there and just have like spending money or whatever you want to spend it on now. So it can continually grow. You can make this as full time as you want it, or as part time as you want it. And if you have a vision to make it bigger, you can definitely make it bigger. And so I think all of us have been in several years, and we're kind of, at that point, and we've seen those results. So for me, it's just kind of supported the stay-at-home dog mom life now. So it's really fun.
I like how you talked about it changes, because I started 6 years ago, and one of the biggest reasons I actually joined was because was a stay-at-home mom, and then my kids went off to school, and I was like, I need something to do, but I didn't want to go get that 9 to 5. I wanted to still be available for them and for my husband and for my dogs. So I joined pawTree because I wanted a little extra income. So it first started, same thing, to get my dog's food paid for. That was it. That happened pretty quickly. And then, don't laugh, but all I wanted was a housekeeper. So I've got a house cleaner she comes every 2 weeks, and she is my most favorite person in the whole wide world, aside from my dogs. But she just keeps us all on track, and it's the best thing. It just makes me so happy. We all have our little vices, and that's one of mine. But then it's progressed into, like, the dog training was a huge expense that I was able to afford. And now it's travel. It's fun money. It's, being able to just go do what we want to do. And we moved into a new house recently, so I've been able to buy furniture and plants and, not have to think twice about whether I can afford that or do that or not because of my pawTree income. So super, super lucky to be able to do all those fun things financially.
Yeah, I agree on it definitely changing. I know for the first about year and a half, I was just kind of floating along and just wanting to get some sort of discount on my pet's food. And then it progressed up to, well, we built this giant home. So now I wanted to it paid for our like bed frame. I had saved up all of my pawTree money and like bought us this giant king size bed frame. That was one of my like biggest proud moments in pawTree, was to be able to pay for that. But now it's really progressed even more into this year, being able to, now this is like, I've been a stay-at-home dog mom for 2 years now, and we really have been able to make some really substantial income with this. And could not have come at the perfect time. It was definitely a godsend for us, to where now it's paying my mortgage every single month, and it's paying all of our bills because we've had some things flip-flop and we didn't know that was coming. And so being able to completely rely on pawTree, that it's now paying all of our bills is really just an amazing feeling, to know that you can start off slow but build it into something bigger. And it doesn't have to be overnight. Like, having it take 5 years to get to that point was fine. And I'm so glad. And that, like, I know that people can grow into this. It doesn't have, I didn't start with this being like, I'm going to doing pawTree completely full time. It was a couple of hours here and maybe 15 minutes there. And maybe I didn't do anything for 2 weeks, but I was progressively seeing the freedom that was coming with that, and being able to be like, wow, this is more of what I really want. I want that weekend freedom. I want to be able to travel with my besties to Colorado. And so pawTree's given us incentive trips and so many amazing things that I'm just so grateful.
Well, and we have people that don't want to do a whole lot with it, so they make a few $100s a month. We have people that make a few $1,000s a month, and we have people that make 5 figures a month. So it's not going to happen overnight by any means, but you can grow it to what you want, and there's the potentials there, and that's what I think is amazing. Is if you want to go full time, if you want to be super consistent and diligent and talking to more people every day, you're going to see the results of it, and your income is going to reflect that. Because the cool thing about pawTree is that residuals piece of, we get customers, we earn commissions on their purchases, and it just, every time they purchase, we get our commissions, and it just grows and grows and grows, and that's how we build our income. And we get to make happy dogs and happy pet parents all at the same time.
All right. So last question for you ladies is, what would you tell other dog moms thinking about joining pawTree?
I like this one because I feel like I got asked this a couple years ago, and the answer is still the same on this one. I would just say jump in and do it. I think I said jump in with all 4 paws way back when, all corny, but it's true because it's been like the best decision. And like I said, for not only your dog's health, because there's something about us. We come out with new products every year. So it just makes you a better pet parent, proactive versus reactive. I've become a research junkie with Tubby, and I have pawTree to really thank for that, because it really kind of set me down that path. So whether it's for your dog, whether it's for yourself, obviously you can better your own life while you're bettering your own pet's life and other pets' lives. So it's really cool the impact you can make, not only in yourself, your pet, but on a massive scale. I kind of like, it's hard to judge how big and of a scale I guess you can reach. And so especially when you're on social media, like we were talking about too, I mean, you're really reaching the masses on platforms like Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, and it's cool to have an impact like that. So yeah, I would just say jump in. I don't think any of us regret it. Obviously, you see us here years in, and I think it's a lot of fun too, and we have a lot of fun together. So
yeah.
And I would add to not overthink it. So many people are like, should I do this? Should I not do this? We have super affordable enrollment kits. The best advice I would give is just jump in and give it a try, because you are surrounded by, we have such a strong community of pet pros. We are not competitive with one another. We are super, cooperative with one another. We share ideas. We share things. It's a completely crazy environment, outside of what you would expect. But it's crazy good. All the support is there. You can see if you like it. Like there's nothing to lose to just give it a try, but there's so much to gain. And just sticking with it over the years, it just builds and builds and builds, and you meet amazing people, and we travel and we hang out with dogs and cats all day. Like there's really not a better job in the world, if you ask me.
Completely agree. And I don't know what else I could say, because it really is just to jump in, not overthink it, and see where it could take you. I know it took me a couple of months to jump in, and I really wish that I wouldn't have dragged my feet, and I wish I would have jumped in sooner. So I hope you guys had a really amazing time chatting with us. If you guys have any other dog mom questions, pop them in the chat. We will get to those later. But do you guys have any last or final thoughts on anything?
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and just come join us, because we're making a difference in the lives of pets and their people every day.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, ladies. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.